Now, for more on the top political headlines out of our nation's capital, I want to bring in Michael Starr Hopkins, a founding partner at Northern Star Strategies. Michael, thank you so much for coming on this morning. Those two sides met for 3 hours Thursday night to try to hammer out a deal, but still nothing, right? Where do things stand?
Yeah, so right now, at this moment, we're in a stalemate. We have Democrats pushing to extend unemployment insurance and keep the rate at $600, and you have Republicans looking to cut down that rate and cut back on the benefits, get rid of the moratorium on evictions. And it doesn't look like a deal is going to get done. Republicans have set this afternoon for the end of the week as the end of discussions, and if they don't get discussions going, then there will be no unemployment insurance extension for the near future. So it's something that should really terrify American families as we head into the weekend.
So where do things stand? I mean, is there just a shot that nothing is going to get done? I know that there's a vacation coming up for lawmakers, so where does that leave things?
Well, like everything else, Congress waits until the last minute and pushes up on deadlines. Nancy Pelosi has told the House that they are on standby, and within 24 hours notice, congressmen and women should be prepared to fly back to the nation's capital. But at this moment, even Mitch McConnell isn't participating in discussions. Discussions are ongoing between Nancy Pelosi, but it doesn't look like we're seeing any real progress, and it's going to require, I think, the president to step in and demand that a deal be made.
So you're saying that the president needs to take action to get a deal. What about those executive orders? Do you think that that's actually going to happen for things like the unemployment benefits and student loan debt?
No, those are certainly temporary solutions that the president could implement. Whether they're constitutional or not is another question, but it doesn't solve the actual issue at hand, which is we need to extend unemployment so that American families aren't kicked off the roll, so that they are able to put food on their plate and keep the lights on. And we need to keep the moratorium on eviction so that millions of Americans aren't kicked out of their homes in the middle of a pandemic. This moment requires leadership. And as someone who has branded themselves as the greatest deal maker in American history, it's time for Donald Trump to put up or shut up and make a deal.
I also want to switch gears now. As we've been reporting this morning, the president issued another executive order, but this was banning transactions with the parent company of TikTok, and he's citing security concerns. What does this mean for people who use TikTok in this country?
Well, this is another instance of the president attempting to get a deal done. There are legitimate concerns about TikTok. In China, when a company is formed, the Chinese government gets a portion of that company. And so companies like TikTok are able to obtain very personal user data about everyone who uses their apps. And so there are questions about whether China is putting malware and using immoral techniques to gain access to Americans' data. That's a legitimate concern. Now, the president is also using that as leverage to not only have TikTok sold to an American company, but potentially have the U.S. profit off of that, which is something that historically hasn't been done and is against the structure of democracy in the American government. We're not Russia. We don't mandate that the government own a portion of companies. In fact, we prefer that the government doesn't engage in owning private companies.
So what is this going to do to U.S.-China relations that are already at a low point? And do you think that this could potentially backfire?
I mean, between the president's trade war and now this instance, we're at a Cold War with China. The relationship is extremely cold. While Trump may say that he's close allies with Xi Jinping, he certainly doesn't act like it. And so what we need to do, whether it's this administration or potentially the next administration, is find common ground with the Chinese where we can work with them. We need to, especially when it comes to operations as we head into the fall and the winter.
Michael, I don't know where exactly you are, but it looks picturesque behind you, especially from a rainy New York City. I'm very jealous. Thank you for coming on and giving us a lot of insight and just a great view. Much appreciated. Michael Starr, Hopkins, founding partner at Northern Star Strategies. Appreciate it. And stay with us. We have a lot more